everyone, this is Greyshot17.
And Greyshot151 here.
And today we're doing a review of BLACKkKLANSMAN? BLACKkKLANSMAN?
BLACKkKLANSMAN.
But there's an extra K in there, so I don't know if you're supposed to...
It's for emphasis of the K.
Okay. Well,
but
all
no,
right,
essentially this is a film set in the 70s in which a detective goes undercover.
Yep.
In the KKK, which wouldn't sound bad until you realize that the
He's
opposite,
black.
Yeah, which is the whole premise of the movie.
Yeah.
But no, it's I would say drama with bits of comedy.
Yes.
And it really plays into the fact of not only there's also a point that they don't show, which is not only is he infiltrating the KKK, but he's also infiltrating a Black Power movement.
Yes.
That is going on at the same time. And while the KKK investigation definitely takes priority, how they work up to the investigation, how the characters, the backstory of him and whatnot.
I love the nuance of it.
Yeah.
He literally, I mean, again, I guess this could be a spoiler, but it really doesn't. He literally opens up a newspaper and sees an ad, and he's just like, "Oh, this is good. We can do that." But yeah, it's a weird little kind of stance of like, this big film is just, that's how it starts. And to be fair, they does go into more of Ron Stallworth's the detective's journey into becoming an officer and him going through, and he does have a good, nice sense of charm to him. That being said, he is Denzel Washington's son, which I didn't get. I was like, yeah, he's
really? Oh, I thought he was still good.
That's I could hear a little bit of Denzel in his voice. I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely his son. But yeah. He's
just
really
get that
good
hint
in
of Denzel in your voice and your.
Also, Kylo Ren is once again in another small film.
Yeah.
And Adam Driver, and he's great.
Yeah, Adam Driver. Whenever he's in these like smaller movies, he does a great job. And this one, he plays another undercover officer, Flip, I believe. I know the guy's last name was Zimmerman. I remember that just because I was like, oh, I hope he's not related to the guy that sent the telegram. But no, he's not another undercover cop, and he's really he's the person that shows up and goes to the in-house meetings. Like, obviously you can't have the black officer show up to the KKK rally, and even his boss, he's like, please don't go.
Please don't.
Just don't.
Don't. It's like, no, I'm not going. He's like, oh, okay.
Still.
But in any case, the film is a good detective story, I would say.
Yep.
The Adam Driver is also fantastic in this. They both play off each other really well. And once they start getting deeper and deeper into the clan and meet Topher Grace's character, a.k.a. David Duke, it gets into some great comedic moments. Because you have, again, a black officer talking to David Duke. And David Duke's like, I would know if you would...
Yeah.
If you were one of those people, because again, they talk differently. And he's like, yeah, they absolutely do.
Also,
man, good thing you told me about that.
This is definitely a movie, by the way, set in the 70s. So if you are uncomfortable with the language associated with like the KKK, this movie has it in droves. And that maybe is an unsung forewarning, because I know some people, they don't.
This film is more
definitely
language heavy than violent. I would say there's very little violence other than photography in this film.
Yeah.
The main sense of dread comes from just tension, I would say. It's not necessarily the sight, it's just the fear of something coming up. And I would say, even though the Ku Klux Klan members that once Adam Driver's character does infiltrate, they may seem like kind of funny and kind of weird and kind of just off the ball, they're still very, very dangerous. Because again, they are all packing weapons. They all have deep connections.
Well, not only do you have that with the KKK members, which, by the way, again, they're not. You can definitely see these are people with very, very horrible views.
Yes.
Like that is definitely clearly shown. They're not like twirling mustaches and thinking about where they can go in rallies and murder people.
They truly believe in what they're saying, but they don't fully grasp what they're saying. It's the perfect combo where they believe it, they just don't necessarily understand
especially in a conversation where Adam Driver's character, when he's undercover,
Yeah.
is arguing about whether the Holocaust was real or not.
And he's
that
like,
was the driving point of like, I could totally see two people in the case. Like, that was like, that's an interesting. I never thought about two people.
I love the counter of that. It was like, it's a whole conspiracy job. It never existed. And the guy's like, well, of course he's infiltrating Ku Klux Klan. He's like, of course it did. It was it's the perfect thing to do. And I love that counter because he's just like, oh my God, you're right. And he's like, blow his mind, be like, well, no, it's so conspiracy. No, I don't know. And it just blows this guy's mind of like,
again, we do not support any way, shape, or form this.
But but once again, the conversations that are had in this film are so intriguing. For example, there's another conversation in the Black Power meeting.
Yeah.
And you're listening to it, and it's like, yeah, they shouldn't be oppressed. Yeah, they should do this. And then they're like, but all the cops should die. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
You're not good either. Let's be honest. I mean, you're not terrible people. You can see them being oppressed and seeing issues that are rising.
It's just there's a line.
Violence is not the answer.
Exactly. And I think that's the distinguishing note is this film obviously focuses more on the KKK and the Black Power movement, but it does show that extremes of both sides is never a good thing. And more so obviously for the KKK. It's obviously, which side is...
They're way worse about it. They're absolutely worse in showcasing this film. But that being said, the movements that are done by this Black Power movement is a college campus meeting. They're college students.
And they have speakers that come in. It's very interesting to see, like, and some of the shots in regards to, like, there's a meeting there and a meeting at the KKK and how they go back and forth. And how they're scarily similar and yet different.
Yes.
That was probably my probably favorite part of the movie is just showing... Okay, whatever you believe in, even if you're right, if you take it in a direction that's wrong, you can taint the whole thing. That's like it doesn't one bad person in an organization can tank the whole thing. So let's say even if you have the purest of motives and you're doing it for the good of everyone, if you kill or murder or do it in or go against someone else's human rights,
that's the one thing I would say that was. I don't want to say from the Black Power movement was they're gonna protest, they're gonna speak, and they're gonna demonstrate, but they said themselves like unless it comes to it, they don't want violence. Even when they are being again, they have an issue with a bunch of cops, they don't actively try to fight. They're just like, hey, please don't. Whereas the Ku Klux Klan members, as soon as something happens, they literally draw their guns like, what? What are you gonna do about it?
Or they shoot at the guy, okay. Also, there is a plot to this movie. And there is an ending, which I will say, the music, by the way, sold it for me. I like the music.
That being said, the biggest critique I have, actually,
I probably have 3 critiques, and it'll probably reference why I give the score I do. But
by the way, Alec Baldwin's in this movie.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he just pops up, and I wonder why, because he's just talking a bunch of nonsense about white power and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, he's being a real racist, stuff like that, but he's misquoting stuff and he's saying that, and then it becomes clear he doesn't believe in what he's saying. But even the people who believe in what they're saying, you can tell the difference between the two. The people who have no idea what they're talking about will stumble and they'll trip up their words, but the people who believe what they truly think is going on will say it perfectly. And it showed them both later in Ku Klux Klan members who truly believe what they want, and then other Black Power movements who truly believe that they are being oppressed and all these key issues. But that being said, it also shows the most devotees, which also shows some of the most dangerous of both sides.
So I think we've said enough. Again, the characters are great. This plot does work, and it is a smaller movie, so it definitely works out. The negatives, the police chief. Just if we're going in order, a little bit
wishy-washy. I wish they would have nailed him down a little bit more, because it was like he was definitely for some movements.
He hired the officer.
Yeah, he hired him. He was like, I truly believe you're the best for this position. But then he goes back and it's like, and then he offers him a position, like, hey, I got a special assignment for you. I think this will work out great, and you can move on from here. And then it goes back to other things.
Also, he puts the guy in jeopardy of literally dying. That was the moment I was like, are you with this guy or not? This is, you're really flipping back and forth. And then especially the ending where he says, destroy all the evidence. I was like, are you serious? What officer says, yes, get rid of all the evidence of the bombing?
I feel like this is something where it's like they had to end the movie and it's like, okay, we can't really, people want to talk about this, and we can't just say he didn't want to talk about it, because again, why would you?
Yeah.
But openly and publicly. So let's just once again just have this reason.
Especially when they had the whole scene again with the other cop.
Yeah.
This character just kept going so far to one way and so far to the other. It's like, are you trying to help or are you not? Are you against them or are you for them?
Yeah, make up your mind, please.
Yeah, it didn't work. The other thing that didn't work was the ending in general. The last minute, maybe minute and a half. It was so... Again, I understand what the idea was.
They wanted... They essentially keep it open to the fact that Ku Klux Klan, even after this investigation, is still active and still doing stuff. But that being said, they show footage of Charlottesville. And while, don't be wrong, everything in Charlottesville that happened... should not have happened. Everything involving the
death and everything.
The death, the racist movement that came up from the Ku Klux Klan, other members that came in and caused a lot of issues for that town, and then attacked a lot of people who were peacefully demonstrating, and then of course did the famous Tiki Torch thing. That all is horrible, horrible, horrible. But the thing about it is, what is it doing in this movie when literally the final shot of this movie would have been fine with how they ended it? And I'll go into spoilers on that, but it's just this weird thing that we want to mention before spoilers in case you're going to see it, that if you take that out, it would probably make a slightly better film because it feels like it's jamming more stuff down your throat. The Alec Baldwin thing, dude, was so much better for me. And I feel like if they would have cut that somehow at the ending.
They also have a lot of current, like, again, lines that obviously if you have been any way attentive to like what's going on in politics, certain lines like maybe things going first and whatnot, or making things great again. Those are interchanged in the movie, and I thought they were subtle enough nods without overdoing it. They were like tipping over the line, but okay, you didn't cross it, and then finally they just jumped. They full leaped
and
over
like,
the line.
What are you doing, movie? Like again, the ending to this, how I believe it was supposed to end, was way more impactful for me, way more impactful. But that it kind of brought it down a little bit because I'm like, it feels like a YouTube video that I watch at the end of a movie. Like it doesn't connect as well as they want it to.
Yep. And that was my
and this movie's
problem.
So good that I'm just like,
the acting is good.
Everything.
Yeah. If there was one final thing, I wish there would have been a definitive answer for the Adam Driver's character, because I honestly, out of all the characters done, I thought he had the most nuance.
Yes.
Because while Denzel Washington, his son,
John Washington.
Okay.
That being said, every time he did the cool hair thing, I wanted to laugh because like he's so suave, and I love that.
His dad has no hair,
and eventually it's a difference from how he starts the film and how he ends it, and I love that character dynamic for him. Him slowly realizing he's a cop and slowly putting more and more effort into it, and him you can see it more of his personality coming out, and I like that from him.
Again, I like those aspects. I just wish he would have a more definitive end to his character, because he's kind of left out of the ending. And I felt with everything that he went through in the movie, he didn't deserve to be just kind of... It just left off. Yeah. I thought he deserved an end to his character. Like, just even a tiny one final scene.
So what would you rate this film?
I want to give it an 8.
Yes.
I want to give it an 8.
How about this? We'll give the film an 8. The footage we'll give... We'll make the other 2.
Okay.
Like, okay... We'll give this an 8 out of 10, but that being said, the 2 minutes of footage, just cut that out of the film. Like, literally, this isn't like a Batman The Killing Joke thing where you have to literally not watch half the movie to enjoy the good parts of it. It's like literally the last minute. So once there's a burning cross, that's it. That's the end of the film. Although, to be fair, it's not the Charlottesville footage. I'm like, oh god, that's what's seriously happening. I didn't see like people flying off the car.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. Especially at backing up, I thought they just pulled the guy out, but no, I believe it was he continued to run people over for quite some time. I'm like, holy mackerel! But that being said, it just felt out of place in this film.
Yeah, I understood the idea. The execution was off. Like again, I think this movie should have showed. Can we go to spoilers?
Yeah, we'll go to spoilers.
Okay.
I feel like we spoiled it already a little bit, so I'll maybe put a slight spoiler warning in this. But that being said. That's the biggest gripe we have is non-footage for this movie. We want more of this movie.
Not footage. But no, for spoilers for this movie, what I will say is that, again, I liked the idea of it. Yeah. It was horribly executed. What you should have ended was a picture of... this is based on a true story. Obviously parts of this is fake. Yeah. Obviously. So if they would have had any evidence, like a picture of... Because there's a moment where he takes a picture of the grand whatever guy,
the Grand Wizard, Duke Wizard, something.
They have a picture,
Klan's head government.
If they would have showed a picture of his like membership or like some evidence to show pictures of him, pictures
similar
of
to like Hacksaw Ridge, where they did it, where they got interviews with the guy and then they showed pictures of him with helping out. That I really would have enjoyed more. It would have been slightly more impactful.
What would have been the more impactful thing was a picture of him. A picture of something, like a picture of him, a picture of like the evidence that did it, and then a picture of the girl that like, because they mentioned Charlottesville, and they show her picture, and they kind of do like a in memory of kind of thing. But I wish they would have just done all these pictures of like throughout, and like felt you like, oh yeah, that's awesome, everyone, and then picture of her, and been like.
Probably.
But just a note somehow it's not gone. Like that flame, that something, it just needed the note of, this isn't a thing that has a happy ending. It's still ongoing, and it's still something we have to talk about in this country.
Maybe throughout the credits you have continuous photos of incidents from 79 to current with Ku Klux Klan activity.
Something.
And then you could end it with Charlottesville in memory of... Because that would have kept me in the credits, kind of seeing everything that's happened.
Showing that while this one thing was taken care of, doesn't mean everything else was. And it's still something we have to talk about. Which, again, this movie definitely has an edge. There's no doubt about that edge.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish it would have been better executed for that ending. Because that ending soured me so much.
Yeah.
And I saw the guy beside me, he, like, grabbed his wife. Because it was so blaring and loud and flashing. I was like, yeah, this is totally, like... Yeah. This is not supposed to be in the movie. But in any case, our gripe aside from that... Otherwise, it was really good.
Great leads, great cast, great score.
Also, slight tangent. I liked the wife of the...
Oh yeah, she's equally crazy. But that being said, she's crazy in the I forget the guy's name who play.
I don't know that guy. But
in any case, he's like downplaying his wife. Like
sending her off to the kitchen and whatnot. Yeah. And like I was just like, you poor it felt like she was like, again, you could feel like she totally
you poor
was
thing. And then she starts saying all this stuff and you're like, oh no, you can go straight to hell too.
Yeah, because she literally towards the end she literally tries to kill 2 people with the bomb. And it's
there's some great comedic bits. Her trying to throw smash down a C4 charge into a mailbox, priceless.
Also,
priceless.
I love the hindsight. It was just like, yes, this is the backup plan. But did you actually think this through? Again, that's like normal people thing. It's like, oh, wait. But no, it's, again, plenty of things I find wrong with this movie, but everything else is super great. Yes. Like, it's minor notes to a overall great movie, and I'd recommend seeing it. Just maybe just be wary of that final
be wary of that. But that being said, again, the one thing I will say is I like the one last scene that I'll talk into is the dedication of the Ku Klux Klan, and then you had the talking of the survivor of like a assault or like a major assault and hanging that happened.
Yeah, but
and I like that because you have a full packed room of like truly invested people listening to this guy, and he's telling his story from when he saw story, and he's really emotional. And you cut back to a half empty room full of like 24 members with barely enough people there, and eventually they do their thing, and it looks stupid, and then they watch the
Birth of a
Nation. There's a scene where I was literally thinking in the film, we're watching a movie about a group of people watching a movie about a group of people watching a movie.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Again,
it's just
the
many levels.
Weird. The ending's not great, but again, the 95%, 99% of this movie is enjoyable. Yes, definitely recommend it.
Again, a great film, except for 2 minutes of weirdly interplayed footage. But in any case, it's been Greyshot 17
and 151,
and we'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.
Hello everyone, and before you guys go, you can check out a previous video on the top left-hand corner, a random video that may be recommended to you on the right-hand side. Below is Patreon supporters that help support this very channel, including Leo, Tim, Aaron, Nathan, Michael, Ace, Joey, Ollie, Sergeant McPain, and White Hot D. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support. You guys rock. This has been Greyshot 17, and I'll see you all next time.